Are you ready to take your GM skills in a Madden 23 CPU versus CPU franchise to the next level? Choosing the right corner traits and abilities is essential for dominating the field and securing those all-important victories. In this video, I'll reveal the critical factors that make a great cornerback and why selecting the correct traits and abilities is the key to success. Learn how to identify the perfect cornerback for your team and gain the competitive edge you need to dominate the league. Watch now and discover the game-changing secrets that separate the best from the rest. So we're going to get right into it, and I have the #1 ranked cornerback in the league in this realistic CPU versus CPU franchise. And if you look at his stats, he has been going off year by year by year, and I think it has a lot to do with one, not only his stats, but also his ability. He had 3 interceptions this year so far, 9 last year, 14 the year before, and 8 the previous year. He has been going off. So honestly, the main trait that you're going to want to focus on is plays ball in the air for your DBs. If you have this at aggressive, they're going to obviously play more aggressively and actually go for the ball in the air. If you have it at conservative, they're not really going to do that at all, and they're probably just going to watch the ball fly over their head, which is something you don't want. And in Madden, you can count on them just actually watching that ball sail over their head. Balance, they're going to do a little bit of both, of course. However, I feel like they lean more towards the conservative side. So I always have this at aggressive. Anything else really doesn't matter. You could have high motor on, yes, again, because you want your players to have that high motor, kicking the extra gear when you really need them to. But I don't think it's really that big of a deal. And anything else, like I just said, doesn't matter. Strip ball, as you can see, would matter. I don't put this on. The only time this is on is if I draft a guy and they already have this on, yes. The reason is because I felt like it would be too overpowered, especially if I add strip specialists. So I just keep this at their base, and if I draft a guy with this, then amazing. And if not, I'm not too worried about it. So again, the only ones you really need to worry about is having this on aggressive and having high motor on, yes. So let's get into the abilities. So with the X Factor abilities, there's really only 3 that work really well in CPU versus CPU leagues. Those are universal coverage, shutdown, and zone hawk, with the shutdown and universal coverage being better than zone hawk. So what universal coverage is the most physical coverage defenders prevent catches from happening even when their target has hands on the ball. When they enter the zone, they're nearly guaranteed knockouts. I use this because I'm not calling the plays, and this badge actually works whether my team calls a man play or a zone play, which I really like. Another one is shutdown. So shutdown defenders have the talent to erase receivers from the game. When they enter the zone, their coverage is tighter and interceptions are more frequent on contested catches. I would rank shutdown and universal coverage in the same tier. This works whether my team, again, calls man or zone. And since it's a CPU versus CPU league, I'm not calling the plays, so I like having that ability that works regardless of what they call. And of course, zone hawk. Zone hawk defenders lock down a part of the field. When they enter the zone, this ability increases the rate of interceptions while in zone coverage. This is another good one. However, I would rank it under them because if my team calls a man play and my DB actually has zone hawk enabled, it will be erased because it's only going to work in a zone play. So let's move on to the abilities. So there's only honestly probably about 4 to 5 abilities that really work. Acrobat and deep out zone KO is what I would honestly recommend. Acrobat is going to give you those diving picks, so diving animations that you want when the ball is thrown, which can actually help you out a lot in some situations. Deep out zone is going to make it so if they actually throw it deep into an out zone, it's not even on the outside lines of the field. Literally, this has a crazy radius, but this works a lot more consistently when they throw it 20+ yards. Strip specialist is another good one, but I always put this on my linebacker, so I don't want to flood the field with strip specialists. One, it makes it a little bit unrealistic, and 2, I don't need that many. I would rather have coverage abilities and, of course, flat zone KO. So I would use flat zone KO on my slot cornerbacks because they're mainly going to be the ones playing that flat zone. And pick artist and tip drill are both really good. Tip drill is going to allow you to actually try to get those catches off of those random Madden tip. And honestly, I think pick artist actually helps you catch the ball a little bit more, but those are really good. I wouldn't use mid zone. Mid zone is horrible. It never activates. It has the weirdest radius that it activates in. Wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend short route KO, deep route KO, or medium route KO because those only work in man plays, and you're not going to be in man that much. Because again, this is a CPU versus CPU league. You're not calling the plays. So like I said, really strip specialists, flat zone KOs on your slot cornerbacks, pick artists, and tip drills. And of course, the two that I have enabled, which is deep out zone KO and acrobat, which are going to allow your cornerback to turn into a Hall of Famer. If this video helped, let me know down in the comment section and leave a like, because that actually gets this video out to more people who may be searching for this, and it helps my channel grow, and I would appreciate it. And like I said prior, I have realistic CPU versus CPU sliders. So if you wanted those and wanted to check those out, you can click the video on the left. And if you happen to miss and wanted to learn the best halfback traits and abilities in a CPU versus CPU league in Madden 23, you can click the video on the right. I love you guys to the moon and back. I'm out. Peace.